Okay, here we go. All right.
This is the first of a multi-part series covering this training.
And you're going to be doing everything on your own. I'll help you when I need to, but I want you flying.
Yeah, cool.
You know, this is not a ride.
And then just standard spin entry, but with forward stick. When you feel the buffet, then do everything.
It took a weekend of training to get to the point where I could do an inverted spin.
Not too soon. Full forward. Yeah, that's as far as I can reach. Hold it. Holy shit. Hold it. Are you kidding me? Hold it. Recover.
But I have to admit, on my first lesson in this airplane, I almost barfed.
Beautiful job, Steve. Wow, yeah, that was super weird, man.
We're in Winnipeg, Manitoba, which is basically the center of Canada. We flew here in a TBM 850 to fly a Pitts S2B. This was a weekend of some of the most intense training I've ever done.
What I want you to take away from your experience here is I want you to get you as close to solo standards as possible. I'll train you just to stay ahead of the airplane as best as you can. A big part of it is just going to be to relax. You know, whatever you've heard about the airplane, it's not impossible. You can definitely do this, especially with your background. It's really going to help you out. What do you think?
Yeah, that's pretty small. Cool.
Yeah, this is going to be your office for the next few days. Most of my students don't have a full online resume of the airplanes they've been flying, but maybe just give me a quick recap on some of the tail wheel machines you've been flying.
The Flight Chops channel has allowed me to share some really amazing training. My initial tail wheel checkout was in the Super Cub. Then we flew things like Cub Crafters airplanes, Chipmunks, and of course the Stearman.
It's great that you've flown a Stearman from the back seat. Yeah, so that's great. So you should be, it should be a fairly similar picture. Smaller, of course. Let's open it up. It's very basic instrumentation. Your manifold, fuel flow, RPM, altimeter, airspeed. That's really all you look at.
Plan to put me straight in the back?
Yeah.
Okay. So what do I have back here that you don't have up there, just so I know?
Yeah, I'm going to brief on all that stuff, but you have all the important stuff.
Yeah.
So a little bit of trust going on.
We didn't waste any time pulling the airplane out and getting started.
Compass, this is more for decoration. Never look at it. Airspeed is in miles per hour. G-meter, and then these are your limits here. +6, -3.
And by the end of this weekend, we definitely had pegged those limits. There's already an existing episode that shows the last flight we did, where I rode along for Luke's competitive routine. And if you visit flightchops.com, that's where we'll keep a blog entry updated as the new episodes come out.
That sucks.
Anyway, back to the walk around on this thing. It's pretty similar to most GA planes, but there's one unique feature regarding inspecting the tail.
I'm sure you can figure out what the reason for that is.
Yeah. Well, I guess you're looking to see if there's foreign objects there.
Exactly right. Yeah. That's one of the most important things you can check. You know.
Well, what have you ever seen anything back?
Oh my goodness.
Like pens and keys?
Yeah, worse. I did a ride once and I asked the usual questions. You know, anything in your pockets? Oh yeah, nothing's there. After the flight, I kid you not, there was a Swiss Army knife.
What?
Yeah.
That's like sitting right back there.
Right back there. Yeah, so I had to take the paneling off, and
wow.
That's scary.
Yeah.
You know, that's real scary stuff. With the control, everything with the stick is push rods, so there's no give. So if something gets jammed, you're having a bad day.
So I'm here for my advanced tail wheel and aerobatic training in the Pitts Special, but two other pilot friends came along. Osama, who flies the TBM, and my friend Maron came to get his basic intro to tail wheel flying. Okay, so I'm going to get in, I'm going to step there, I'm going to grab there,
Yep.
Right foot in, not stepping on plexiglass.
Correct.
There's actually a window in the floor of this thing.
And then what you're going to do is reach down for your negative G belt.
So it was pretty cool that I was training at the same time as two of my friends, and I just want to say an extra special thanks to Osama for flying us out here. There will be a dedicated episode that covers flying the TBM 850 from Toronto to here. And there's already a couple of really great IFR episodes flying with Osama.
Well, I need to get my multi because eventually I'd like to get a type rating on a jet. So this is a necessity that I have to do.
And he killed it with his training. We'll be checking back in with him and Maron throughout this series.
We are good to move. We'll go to the hold short line. And the first thing you want to do once you start moving is turn immediately. You never know, someone could leave a ladder in front of us. You won't be able to see it, so.
This flight today, I want to cover the air work, basic aerobatics, and we'll try a couple takeoffs and landings.
Just do a tiny little S-turn and then satisfy yourself that it's clear and then carry on. I can already tell how much control there is. Like it turns so easily.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be the biggest transition. The Chipmunk has a lot of play and stick, so does the...
Yeah, you're going to be operating in a pretty tight space. Like, you're not going to be doing any of this. If you're doing this, the plane's taking you for a ride.
Okay.
And that's the biggest thing people got to get used to.
So this is always a good opportunity to look all the way down the taxiway, make sure there's nothing down there. As soon as you straighten out, you are blind.
And I'm going to make my pie slices the same on each side.
Exactly right.
So the future episodes where we deal with landing and ground handling will cover this sort of stuff in more detail, but essentially this is the sight picture I've got to work with, and in fact the camera sees more than I do because it's on top of my head.
Now, you're doing a nice job. You're not killing the brakes like most people do at first.
Never check canopy one more time. Okay, so I'm putting the checklist away.
Good. And then whenever you're ready, you can taxi to the whole start line and I'll call tower. I'll tell them to give us a short delay, then we can chat a bit in position.
Okay.
You got me on tower?
You are on 118.5 on the left.
Okay. Delta Romeo Yankees holding the short 18. We'd like a short delay in position.
Delta Romeo Yankee tower, delay in position is approved. Backtrack line up runway 18.
Delta Romeo Yankee, check, thank you.
Since when you line up, you're totally blind. This would be the same in the Stearman. Check.
Right.
Make sure there's nothing there. And then what you're going to do, and you're going to do this right from the get-go on our first flight, is you need to get your sight picture before you hit the throttle.
Yeah.
And then just take your time to find out where the center is. I think you're looking good.
Looking good, yeah.
So standard tail wheel takeoff, it's all going to happen fast. Just do your best not to over control. You know, the plane gets more touchy as the more speed you get.
Yep.
Just try to keep your pie the same, have fun, and I'm ready when you are.
So the key here is that we're trying to make those slices of pie of runway the same on each side, and then commit to looking at one for the takeoff roll.
Stay on one side. Don't do a lot of this. You know, especially on a thinner runway. Like our runway here is 75 feet wide, which is not skinny, but it's not it's not super
So
wide.
if that pie slice changes on one side, it's changing on the other. Yeah.
You got it. So keep that pie exactly the same. Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
What would you normally do with a stick during this phase as you're adding power?
Unload it a bit.
Okay. So how quickly would you bring it forward?
Well, it depends on what I'm flying. I mean, in the Chipmunk, I wait until I have full throttle, so I have full rudder authority, and then I get the tail up and get the nose down.
Perfect.
And then
Do the same.
Okay.
Yeah, do the same. Don't bring it up too soon.
Yeah, because then it'll pivot. Yeah.
You got it. Yeah, same deal here.
Yeah, come a bit more to the right. And rotate.
It is so twitchy.
And nose up a bit more. Beauty.
I'm going for 110.
Yeah, that's good. All right, man, your first pitch takeoff. Nicely done.
Thank you. Yeah, I was just really ginger with the throttle and made sure I was very careful not to over control those rudders.
Yeah, no, you did a good job. You can bring the throttle back to 25.
We're going to go to the practice area here in St. Andrews, get you up nice and high, 4,000 or 5,000 feet, and we're just going to get you comfortable. You know, it's a new airplane. It's responsive. It does everything you tell it to do.
Okay, so should I do a little S-turn to look around?
Absolutely, yep. Was just about to suggest that.
Oh my god, that is snappy.
Yeah. Are you smiling right now?
Yes.
But it also has a few quirks that I want you to experience high up before we get you down low practicing the landings. In fact, the more stuff we do in the practice area, the more basic airwork, the more basic aerobatics, the easier you're going to find the landings.
Let's get right into it, man. We're in the practice area. We're in a good area.
And we're going to buck 60?
Yeah, that's about what we should be doing.
Okay.
So, just to get kind of warmed up, maybe try aileron roll.
So I'm going to pitch up to 23 degrees up, neutralize everything, then roll it. So we'll just go ahead and do it now?
Yeah, go as fast as you want.
I just need, I'm going to try to, you tell me when 30 is, I guess.
Sure.
About...
Keep going, go, keep going, keep going,
wow,
keep going.
That feels like more than 30.
Keep going, okay, roll it. Yeehaw! Try to do an aileron roll at 1G.
So what did I do there? I wasn't looking.
Well, you did a little bit of negative G. You pushed a little bit.
Okay.
Which is accidental, I'm sure.
Yeah. Here we go.
Go for it. And roll it. Cool.
Yeah, I didn't really use rudder to roll out, but I had rudder when I was rolling in.
Yeah, no, felt good. Let's go south. So that's south. We'll go that 90-degree turn to the right. We don't want to get into Osama's area there. He's working a little bit more east of us. Yeah, that's good. So we'll do one more roll here. Try to do it even slower.
Okay.
Yep.
So I need to think about my top elevate or top rudder and so on?
Nope.
No? Okay.
No, let gravity work for you. We'll do a little bit of an up and then we'll finish on a down attitude, nose down attitude.
So I should just hold my rudder input while I've got the aileron in?
You're going to need a little bit of opposite rudder in the last 90-degree turn, and you'll feel it too.
Okay.
Yeah, try that.
So here we go.
So pitch it up quicker, pitch, neutral, and roll nice and slow. Yeah, nice and slow. Let the nose fall a bit. Don't you see you're increasing the roll rate at the end.
I did, yeah. Okay, and I felt it yaw, so I should have, which way should I have gone with the rudder there? A bit of left?
Yeah, let me show you one real quick here. I'll take control from you.
You've got it.
I got it. I'll just get myself going westbound here. It's really, really light on the rudders. You don't need too much input. So basically what I'm going to do, I'll talk you through what I'm doing with my feet here. So we're clear, we're going to pitch up. Neutral, here's a bit of left rudder.
Oh yeah.
Still pushing left, now I'm backing off the rudder. And now I'm going to finish with left rudder. So all I really do is back off the left rudder in that last part.
Okay.
And that just has to do with how the airflow is interacting with the airplane.
Okay.
So your control?
I have control.
You try that.
Too slow?
Oh, you're alright. A little bit of right rudder there, and now finish with left rudder.
Yeah, I definitely dive.
You're okay.
Yeah, try that again.
You're okay.
Get going this way and do it again.
You bet.
So I felt my body push to the right, which means that I was yawing. I didn't have enough left in, is that right?
So yeah, you were good. It's usually right around here. If you're doing any pushing with a stick, because we don't need to do that. And then it's just kind of this last part. Either you weren't quite enough, bringing back the left rudder.
Yeah, whichever way you feel, that's the way you gotta push. Or maybe you're pushing too much of the other one.
So I was feeling
Yeah, then you just need right rudder.
Okay, so
exactly.
So it's so weird to not change the power, but okay, we're leaving it where it is.
You bet.
We're gonna do it again.
Do it again.
Okay, and then about there, neutral.
Correct. Roll it. Looking good. Back off the left rudder now.
Yeah, I feel like I'm pushing to the right. So I should have got more right rudder there, eh? Or less left rudder.
Just a little bit. There was also a little bit of pitch happening. Okay. So there was a tiny bit of elevator.
Yeah.
It's a small amount. We're splitting hairs, but that's all you got to do. But that's looking pretty good. Let's go northbound here. Practice area, traffic, Delta Romeo Yankee pitch special. We're doing aerobatics 5,000 below, single Garrison, north-south line. Well, there looks good. Now just to get it, again, kind of get a feel for the roll rate, let's do a 30-degree pitch up and full aileron deflection.
Here we go.
Hit it. Yeah, so
Oh yeah, that's...
this kind of gives you a sense of what you're working with, right? You ever do any Dutch rolls or rolls around a point? Yep. And just use these northbound roads as your roll reference, and then just try to roll the plane around there. A little heavy on the foot.
Okay.
That's better. Better. Not too bad.
I'm heavy on the right more, eh?
You're just a bit late in the transition. Try to bring the other rudder in quicker.
Like that?
And a little more left and right. And left.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah, I mean, the plane tells you if it's right or not.
Yeah, so if your head moves, it means you yacht.
Exactly, that's your ball there.
Yeah. Okay, that's a little better now.
Yeah, it's feeling better. You know how to do a half cube and 8?
Well, let's talk through it anyways. My brain is a little mushy right now.
If you need a break, just let me know.
I'm good.
Basically, do 5/8 of a loop, so do a loop, and then fly down to 45 degrees, so you can use your sighting gauge for that. And then forward stick to keep it there for about 3 seconds, and then half roll to upright flight.
So we're going full power right now.
And let's get about 160, so you can dip the nose for
Yeah, so we're basically there.
pretty much there. I'm ready when you're ready.
Okay, here we go.
Yep. And as you slow down, just feed in a bit of right rudder just to keep the nose straight. Find your reference point, a little more right rudder.
Yeah.
You can see it getting pulled off heading up. Half roll there. The roll feels good.
Watching this footage, it's so easy to see what I'm doing wrong, but this is a good example of why upset recovery training is good for any pilot, because when you're upside down and flipping around, it is really hard to stay oriented.
So let's talk to what I was doing wrong. I needed more right rudder on the top. I felt it yawing.
Yeah, like you want me to show you one?
Yes.
Okay, my control.
You have it.
And whether it's upset recovery training or any other sort of training you want to fund, we've got $1,000 thanks to iCloth Avionics to give to a lucky viewer.
So you had a good pitch right here. Make sure you're looking above you now. Now you can decide if you're straight or not. You can see that we're parallel to the opposite road.
And you gave it a bunch of right rudder.
Yeah, so hold it there, 2, 3, and then roll it, 2, 3.
Oh, I felt like I went straight down at that point, but
No, that's about 45 degrees. So you've got control.
I have control. So we try that again.
Yep.
So speed is good.
Speed is good. Oh, there's one thing, like, as soon as you're on your way, but keep your face forward for, you know, a good 40, 50 degrees.
Yeah.
And then to the side, and then backwards. And then you can just tilt your head back, and then you can see if you're straight or not. But yeah, it's going to take right rudder to keep it straight.
So sorry, for the initial part, I'm looking left, and then
No, for the initial pull, look straight.
check left, and then check forward to over the top.
Yeah, so forward, left, back. I'll try to do a better job of telling you where to look.
Okay, thanks.
All right, I'm ready when you are for another one.
Here we go.
Pull harder.
Look left.
Yep, now look back. Now keep looking forward. Now look to the left and wait for it, hit it, and roll it. That's better. Needed a bit more left rudder in the roll, but that was way closer. That's cool. Let's try some inverted flying.
All right.
So just double check your straps. And then you can line up with south there. Pretty much everything we'll do will be parallel to a road.
The pits, you know, right side up at 160 will fly about like this, and then inverted it will fly about like that.
Right.
Okay, so pitch up a little bit here.
Yeah, and roll it faster, and then push a bit. Yeah, that's good. And then you can just cross-reference your altimeter and figure out if you're pushing or pushing enough or not. So that's probably 2 nose down. But, you're doing all right there. Keep pushing a bit more. Yeah, that's cool. Why don't we try a turn that way? So use left aileron and then push it through the turn. Push harder. That's cool. Keep that going. Try not to bank any more than this. That's cool. Keep it going. We'll do a full 90-degree turn. Push a bit harder. Push, push, push. We're losing altitude. Push harder. I know it feels unnatural, but keep pushing. You're doing a good job. And go wings level upright. And then pull back a bit here. Yeah!
Oh, that sucks. The negative G's really suck, and it wasn't even that many.
No. Yeah, they do suck at first. Yeah, use them. And I want you to just have some fun for a few more minutes here. But do whatever you want. You can do some loops, do some more aileron rolls.
It was rudder control during the rolls that I really wanted to wrap my head around, but I was getting a little burned out by this point.
Is that okay with rudder?
Yeah, you needed a bit more left foot at the end there.
Okay, a bit more left at the end, eh? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, you backed off a little bit too much at the end. You can try one to the right if you want.
The mental fatigue combined with the physiological forces were definitely pushing my stomach to its limits.
Oh, what did I do? I didn't have enough right?
You pushed too much. You pushed on the elevator.
And that's why it yawed, okay.
Correct, yeah.
That's a gross sensation.
Yep.
I was no issues, and then all of a sudden, quickly, I got nauseous at one point. And I
You remember what it was?
I think it was when I was trying to wrap my head around having issues with not controlling yaw in the roll.
Try it again. It's better already. Yeah, see, look at that, right on heading. And then just neutralize your rudder at the end.
Yeah.
Otherwise, that was pretty darn good.
Alright, so I just need a minute because that did make me a little nauseous.
Yeah, take your time. You know, we could probably head back and do some circuits.
Luke was awesome and really trained me thoroughly, so clearly this is going to take multiple episodes to cover. So again, keep an eye on flightchops.com to watch as this series builds, because I'm not going to release this all in order, like other content will be sprinkled in the meantime. And that's also where you go to play the contest. And again, this month, giving away $1,000 towards your training is a really rewarding thing that we can do. So thanks to iCloth Avionics for that specific prize, and all the other sponsors are always giving away stuff each month. Thanks to them and the Patreon supporters, we're able to keep on producing this content. And as always, keep your flight chops sharp.
Alright, we lost some altitude, but
We lost, what did we lose, 1,000 feet there?
a little bit close to that. That's alright, don't worry about it. we're not at the U.S. Nationals right now. It's all right.